Sampling! Sampling for the lab. It's vital for the income of North Park's mines and our livelihood. The dedicated men and women of North Park's must ensure samples are accurate for our forecasts. Inaccurate sample results can have dire consequences for our mine, as this dramatic recreation shows.
Damn it! You seen these OSA results for yesterday? They're terrible. They're all over the place and it's the third time this week. What the hell is going on up there at Flow Control?
I heard there's a new bloke in the night shift. Maybe he doesn't know what to watch out for.
Alright, let's get Paul to get the guy in here and we'll have a chat with him.
Hey Joe, just got AC here to see you.
Thanks Paul. Come in AC, have a seat. Thanks for coming down. We've been getting some unusual results with our lab samples and we think the cause might be contamination. Can you walk us through what you do when you take the sample?
Well, there's really not much to tell. I just remove the filter papers and replace the filter paper with a new paper, and then I just put the sample into a new plastic bag.
Did you notice if there was any concentrate slurry on the pots?
Oh yeah, sometimes if there is a lot of spillage.
Okay, well this can cause contamination with the mud leaching onto the filter paper. If you notice spillage on the sampling pots, do a light hose down or wipe off any excess mud around the lids of the pots before you remove the filter paper. This will avoid any contamination of the sample.
Well, I never knew that. Is there anything else to look for?
Other things to look out for are darker rings surrounding the filter paper sample.
Why is that?
This is an indicator of potential problems in the process, which can affect the sample at the time it was taken. Other things to watch out for are clean gloves. If you've been handling concentrate in other areas or come in contact with it, it's better to use clean gloves when doing your sampling, as this can cause contamination. Plastic bags. Always use clean, new plastic bags for each sample. Don't try to use old ones which may have been used before.
Always do. Is there anything else?
If anything unusual happened during the processing on your shift, when you drop the sample off at the lab, just make a note of it on the sheets provided. That way we will know if the sample could have been affected. Communication between the lab and the mill is vital to ensure accurate sampling.
Well, thanks for that, Joe. I'll take that on board.
Thanks for taking the time to come out to see us.
You're welcome. See you later.
See ya.
Samples can become contaminated in the lab. Most of these factors are caused by poor housekeeping. For lab team members, here are some tips to ensure samples remain clean. Solid trays. These need to be washed and cleaned after each sampling, so older samples don't contaminate new ones. If an operator notices that the trays are dirty, there are separate clean trays under the extraction hoods in both the tails and concentrate prep rooms. This is often a moment of choice for quality. Disposable trays. Do not overuse disposable tinfoil trays for sampling. Please discard when they are clearly worn out. Any concentrate needs to be placed in the concentrate waste bucket, which gets sent back through the mill, and not into the general waste bin. Gloves. Make sure your gloves are clean before sampling. Air blowers can be used to clean away any concentrate dust. Prep bays. Clean all work areas with the air blower to remove any stray concentrate before preparing samples. Don't forget to wipe down the mat and rolling pin with a wet chucks before starting.
At every stage of the process, something could go wrong. So it's critical that every person who's involved in the collection and processing of samples observes when something could be going wrong in the process. When samples are collected up in the plant at any time, the sample must be checked for integrity, make sure it hasn't been contaminated, that there's not obvious mud or slurry that's been spilt on the samples. People should be aware of sources of contamination, make sure that they're not compromising the sample themselves, ensuring that their PPE is clean, ensuring that they're always going from lowest grade sample to highest grade sample and not the other way around, so cross-contamination doesn't occur. Communicating any changes that have happened in the plant during the shift or anything which could have affected the integrity of the samples. Letting the lab know is critical. If not by way of the sample logs which is kept in the Met Lab, then by an email to the lab team leader or senior lab tech will be enough.
By working together, we can eliminate the scourge of contaminated samples. We can all contribute to making North Park's forecasts accurate for today and for the future generations of workers at North Park's mines.